Thursday. Happy Thursday. Okay, now I can see. Hi, everyone. Hey, Miss Nileji, how are you? First to join here, lady underscore D011. Thank you for joining. Y'all, I'm telling you, my eyes are, it's sometimes I'm trying to, good evening, how are you? Tell myself, like, it's not that bad, but I was like, oh, yeah, it is. It is what it, hello, Olive Beauty Empire. It is what it is. Ah, thank God for glasses. Kinafashi. It's getting older. It is grace. But really, I don't know. People say I don't act my age. I don't feel my age, but my eyes remind me of that. Like, auntie, what glasses have? But we would. Well, come on in, everyone. Happy Thursday. My voice is kind of cracky. I think I'm coming down with a cold or something. So bear with me. Happy Thursday. Y'all, this week went by pretty fast. I mean, it was just Monday like yesterday. Literally. Like Monday yesterday. And tomorrow's Friday already. And tomorrow I'm just like, it's chill day because I'm festive. But anyway, if you are just joining us for the first time, let us know where you are joining us from, what city, what state, what country. Come on in. This is Attorney Abisola Adebola Olale. I'm an immigration attorney based in Alabama, represented immigration clients in all states. So it doesn't matter what state you live in. If you've got an immigration case, we can represent you. So reach out to us at 334-341-4475. Hey, Mama. My mom is on. Yeah, I'm telling you, my mom supports. Mothers are supposed to do that, right? But her level of support is just another realm. I'm telling you. Hello, Miss Agumbiade. How are you? And congratulations to Miss Favor. Yeah, that's literally her name. God showed her favor. Her green card was, well, yeah, I-130 and green card approved today. I think we had the interview. She had the interview. I couldn't attend, but it was a pretty. Her case was. See, this is I gotta give myself and my team a pat on the back because one thing we know how to do, we know how to put together and assemble a case. Now, obviously, we can't guarantee an outcome, but that one I would tell you, if you've ever been a client of ours, either a former client or current client, everybody gets a copy of your file, so you know exactly what was sent into USCIS. And I can't even tell you how many times even USCIS officers comment on, like, now your attorney put your case together. I don't even have many questions or whatever. So unless you meet one of those crazy ones, but congratulations to Ms. Favor. We celebrate with you. So contact information is 334-341-4475. Visit our website at olalealawfirm.com. info@olalealawfirm.com is our email address. WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. What's left? YouTube. Subscribe, like, follow, share. Hi, Miss Elena Sanctuary. Ekurole in Kataiwu, how are you? So we do not take calls on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is strictly for text messages, but we are open 9 a.m. to. I actually didn't notify you. I think there's something wrong with the IG because those Kyla, social media lady, was telling me that she was doing some post and it will bounce back, or I don't know. Listen, I don't do tech stuff. I know how to argue, but tech stuff missed me with that one. But so subscribe, like, follow, share on our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn. Yeah, I missed something. Whichever, Instagram. Okay, so let's talk immigration, y'all. And if you're just joining for the first time, we talked about or discuss a topic, or if we have nights where it's just questions, and we do that. But tonight, real quick, talk about 10-year presence green card, because I think we had a post earlier on this week. I think. Maybe not more recorded, but listen, I recorded it, passed it over to my girl. Like I just reviewed the final dates, make sure the legal information is correct. But we had quite a number of inquiries about that. as far as who qualifies. Okay, I've been here in the country for more than 10 years, so how do I file for that? Yada, yada, yada. So let's talk about 10-year presence green cards. And it was saying that if you are just joining us for the first time, we talk about topics, and then whatever time we have left, I take on questions, give you general answers to your questions. So it's nothing specific to your case. So let's talk immigration, y'all. 10-year presence green card. I'm trying to proofread because I should have done that before I put it up, but hey, it is what it is. Who qualifies? How do you if you qualify, how do you apply? The very first thing you need to know is this is an immigration benefit that, let me put this down a little bit. One second, y'all. Before I make you phone again, just 𝒑𝒂𝒔𝒔𝒕𝒆𝒍𝒚. Mistake this is. This is an immigration benefit that you can only apply for in immigration court. Let me say that again. Hey, Epic Movement, you cannot apply for cancellation. It's called cancellation of removal. And there are two types. You cannot, and I'm talking of non-LPR cancellation, because there's LPR cancellation removal. LPR cancellation removal are for those who have already been issued a green card, but they're not back in removal proceedings, deportation proceedings, because, for whatever reason, they're back, and then you can apply for LPR cancellation removal. But for tonight's purposes, we're talking about non-LPR, so non-legal permanent residence cancellation removal. So the very first thing you have to know is USCIS, you cannot apply for COR, cancellation removal, with USCIS. It is an exclusive jurisdiction of the immigration court. So what does that mean? That means that you have to have been placed, you must have been placed, and you are in removal proceedings. In other words, you are before an immigration judge, you have immigration proceedings, you have been issued a notice to appear in immigration courts, and it is going to be an application for relief, which is your defense from being removed from the country. That's that in a nutshell. So if you are someone who has been in the country for at least 10 years, but you have not been placed in removal proceedings, you have a case with immigration with USCIS, or you don't have any pending case, but you've got nothing to do with immigration court, you do not qualify for a non-LPR cancellation removal. That's it. That's number one. Now, if you have been placed in removal proceedings, then that's the first qualification. You've met the first qualification of being before an immigration judge within EOIR jurisdiction. The next question then is, have you now reached that 10-year physical presence at the time you have not been placed in court? That means you have continuous presence in the United States for 10 years. And if you are in removal proceedings, that's number one. Number two, have you met the length of time for the physical and continuous residence? And if you're able to answer yes to removal proceedings, number two, if you issued an NTA to appear, number two, you have been in the country for at least 10 years. Then the next consideration is, have you been convicted of any serious crime that's going to prevent you from being admitted as a legal permanent resident? So it's got to be a serious offense that makes you ineligible. Example, with anything that is some offenses that can be regarded as crimes involving moral turpitude, or an aggravated felony. You've been convicted of theft, felony theft, robbery. Serious crimes are what is grouped as. There is a section of the Immigration and Nationality Act, of a few sections, where it lists the kind of crimes that will prevent you from being eligible for cancellation removal. If you're able to answer yes, no to not be note that you've not been convicted of any serious crime that's going to make you ineligible, then you move on to the next requirement of being able to show that your removal will result in exceptional and extremely unusual hardship to a qualifying relative. When it comes to COR in court, your qualifying relative has to be someone who is either a citizen or a legal permanent resident, and they have to be your spouse, your parent, or your child. Spouse, parent, or child. Not son or daughter now. Child for immigration purposes is definition of child for immigration. Son or daughter is an adult child that is not your qualified relative for cancellation removal. Hey, finest Jandy. So let's run through that again. Number one, the very first thing you have to know is if you've got no business with immigration court, meaning USCIS or any other agency has not issued an NTA for you to appear in immigration court, you do not qualify for cancellation removal. The whole point of it being called, hello, Missouri. The whole point of it being called cancellation of removal, emphasis on the word removal, is you are already in removal proceedings. USCIS does not do removal, although we see a whole lot of craziness going on. They don't handle removal. That's why they just issue an NTA. It's none of their business. So first of all, you have to be in immigration court within the jurisdiction of EOR. Hello, Miss Yabo. Secondly, you have to show that you've maintained continuous physical presence in the United States for at least 10 years. Third, you have not been convicted or for any serious offense that is going to make you ineligible, and you are able to show that your removal is going to result in exceptional, unusual hardship to a qualifying relative, parent, child, spouse. They have to, and that qualifying relative is either a citizen or a green card holder. That's 10-year. That's the 10-year presence green card in a nutshell. So if that helps to, I'm hoping that helps to streamline things to know whether or not you qualify. So because we had quite a number of people like Atisilamo to women for 10 years. At 2013, we think baby by, and it's not for you to go find a way to get yourself in court. This admit is not the time you want to get yourself in court so you can qualify for a COR. No, because we know what's going on. Now, there is also the option of cancellation or removal for people who have been victims of abuse. So basically, it's called VAWA cancellation or removal. Again, you must be in removal proceedings, meaning they have issued you an NTA, placed you in removal immigration court, and then you need to file an application for relief, meaning your defense to removal. If you have been subject to abuse at the hands of your spouse, then you can qualify for VAWA cancellation and removal in court. Here's one of the things I like about VAWA cancellation and removal in court. By the way, with the 10-year green card, 10 years presence, you also have to show that you're a person of good moral character. That's fine. Good moral character, because that also applies in the VAWA cancellation and removal. With the VAWA cancellation and removal, as it compares to a regular VAWA case with USCIS, you actually do not have to show good faith in VAWA cancellation and removal. What do you have to prove? With VAWA cancellation and removal, number one, you have to show you have to be in removal proceedings, meaning you are before the immigration judge, right? Number two, you have been subjected to abuse. You've been a victim of abuse at the hands of your spouse or at the hands of a parent, or you're a parent of the spouse, or you are a parent of a son or daughter that has subjected to abuse. You have to also show that you've maintained physical and continuous presence in the United States for at least 3 years at the time you're placed in removal proceedings. So as it compares to the regular non-LPR cancellation removal, VAWA cancellation removal just requires you to show 3 years physical continuous presence. So that's like a third of what the number one is. But in order to qualify for that, you must have been a victim of abuse at the hands of a qualifying relative. And then you are not deportable, you're not inadmissible, you've not been convicted of any aggravated felony when it comes to VAWA cancellation removal. And this is where it differs from the regular cancellation removal. With the regular cancellation removal, you have to show 10 years. VAWA cancellation is 3 years. With the regular cancellation removal, you've got to show extreme exceptional, unusual hardship to a qualifying relative. With VAWA cancellation removal, however, the exceptional and unusual hardship can be towards a qualifying relative, but as the applicant, you also can show that your removal from the country will cause hardship to yourself. So you can be your own qualifying relative when it comes to VAWA cancellation and removal compared to the regular one. How do you qualify, or how do you apply for the either the VAWA cancellation and removal or the 10-year non-LPR cancellation and removal? You've, like I said, you have to be in court. So that means that if you have determined that you qualify, you've met all the requirements, and you are eligible for that, then you file a form EOR 42B with the immigration court that has jurisdiction over you. Pay your filing fees and all that, and submit your supporting evidence. The court is going to adjudicate your application, and if you meet all the requirements, then you are granted. The application is going to be granted, and basically the 42B application, cancellation or removal, VAWA cancellation and removal, that application in itself is an application for a green card. Once it is approved, then you're just going to have to wait. USCIS sends you, DHS issues you your green card, end of story. So that is it's actually an application for green card, but you start with being in immigration court, you have in place in removal proceedings, and as long as you qualify for all those other grounds, then you are able to file. So I'm hoping that simplifies, explains what the process is for COR or VAWA COR, so that the particular office will need to lawyer mo ti debi me láti 2015 mo ko ti file everything. Tabage be lawyer okay o short if going see court like no my láti jail with this one because that's how you can qualify for it. So if you are in the space of a lot of magic in Rogun court, and then my láti joko civitawa because it's not for you then. But I hope that it helps to put things in perspective, to know if you're going to qualify for COR or VAWA COR. That's all, sure, people. Straight to the point. That's the way I can. That's the best I can do when it comes to explaining that, and I think that simplifies that. But anyway, so if you think you qualify, the first step you want to take is to have a consultation with an attorney, so if you qualify, and then we can tell you whether or not you do. And if you do, we'll be glad to represent you. Once again, contact is 334-341-4475. That's all, sure, people. Let's get as many questions. I think we got plenty of time. So. Stage is still not back. No, he's not. Like Mushu bye. Don't tell him. It's probably watching. Shaking my knee, breaking it. Y'all TJ is internet aunties. Yeah, let's address that. Do you not think, as TJ's mother should take a break from TJ sometimes? I feel Benny. Because let me put things in perspective for y'all. TJ I have primary custody of my kid, right? I've had primary custody of my kid since the divorce. Thank you, Jesus. So that means the kid is with me. So we've got 2 months of summer, right? The kid is with me most of 10 months. He goes to his dad every other weekend during the school year, right? That's why. Yeah, if you say something, I will send him to your house. So the summertime where I can actually get a whole week to clear my brain. And if they by sure I must send a sort of grandma, and she will welcome me, because at least they will cook a goosey for him, rather than him putting me on blast that his mama won't cook a goosey for him. He will eat it morning, afternoon, night. So no, I'm ready. If I can, please just leave it alone. All your aunties of TJ, I can send him over to you, but let me be quiet here for a week. Let me press my brain. And then we'll pick it up. Hello, Miss Aminat. How are you? We'll pick it up. And what's the update on your end, Miss Aminat? What's been going on with you? We'll pick it up next week. Oh, yeah, TJ aunties. He'll be back next week. Ashigani. And mind Titi. And mind there. For family lane. Kitchen. Thank you. Because all right, hold on 1 second. Let me hide this. Okay, all right, let's go back here. Please do not repeat your questions. Put your question. I will try to get to as many. If you repeat your questions, I'm going to skip it. As long as it likes the goosey that has bitter leaf, he can come. Listen, the kid who ate Nigerian food, because TMI, if you don't want to hear, but he was exclusively breastfed. Those kids suck the you know what out of you. But I think because of that, he expecting a baby or breastfeeding. This is a tip I'm going to give you. It's been almost 15 years. It's going to be 15 next month, God willing. Thank you, Lord. But Malta drink, it's got Bailey or whatever it is in it. It is a stimulant for breast milk production. You will become a cow. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not even kidding. Just be ready to buy a pump. Because I breastfed him for exclusively for a year. Yes, I'm traditional like that. And don't be fooled. The bouginess is not like that. They are foodies and they eat anything. And then I drank that malt. Surely, I've never drank malt, but the breast milk really tasted like malt because that's basically what I drank till today. Almost 15 years later since he was born. TJ would drink malt drink. He would drink malt and of course non-alcohol. Goya malt, whatever the malt, like water. My oldest kid would not taste it, not a drop on his mouth, because he's like, what the heck is this? And if you're from Africa, whatever country that we drink malt, it's an acquired taste. So for this American born kid has never stepped foot in Nigeria to drink malt like water, you already know that he is. Hello, Miss TJ and come on. Y'all just leave me the heck alone. Miss Peggy. Hey, very quickly, chala fia let me go by TJ ni. Oh God. Oh God. But yeah. Okay, I'll get to your question. All right. So let's see. Please not repeat your questions. Sorry, just joining this. Not sure you already answered my question. I know a husband and wife who had been here for over 10 years with a U.S. citizen child. Are they eligible? What we're talking about is going to be something you apply for in immigration court. So the husband and wife, if they have not been placed in removal proceedings, then that's the end of the analysis. They do not qualify for non-LPR cancellation removal. Okay. Good evening, Oluwole. How are you? I have a VAWA approved. Congratulations in removal proceedings. I filed a motion to recalendar or dismiss. I have no criminal history for 10 years and I'm living. Will I qualify for cancellation? That if you already have an approved VAWA petition, then you should focus more on being able to get the motion to recalendar and dismiss. You can file a motion to. You can file. It cannot be a motion to recalendar or dismiss. If it's going to be if you're filing a motion to recalendar, that means that you already there's administrative closure. So that's the only reason why you file a motion to recalendar. When your case has now been recalendared, then you file a motion to dismiss. So it's not you're on. What is going on the internet now? Explaining the behavior yourself. Okay, cancellation or removal is the equivalent to what you already have as far as a VAWA approval. Because then the only difference is just that with the cancellation removal, that's an actual green card application. But since you have a VAWA approved, then your best route is to try to get your case recalendared if it's been on admin closure. And then, yeah, I think I should be back now. I don't know what's wrong with the internet. Recalendar, and then when it's placed on the docket, you can now file a motion to dismiss or terminate with evidence that you've got an approved VAWA petition and all that. So, but you may benefit from consulting with a lawyer because everybody feels they can do that. People, we have some of these blogs people will send to me like, don't waste your time on lawyers. They just want to take your money, to each their own. Just like I can't even imagine someone saying, don't waste your time going to your doctor. If you have a headache, just take painkillers. God help you. Hopefully it's not an aneurysm or something. Just saying. But hello, Mr. Melvis. How are you? I responded to your email later on. Okay, breaking up. Am I still breaking up on Facebook and on YouTube? Can someone tell me if I'm back now? Yeah, I don't know what is going on. Xfinity is just taking my money, but you would think the claim is the fastest. Roll my eyes. I won't continue. Xfinity continue Russian. Can you blame them? Oh, I'm not back yet. Okay, perfect. Hello, Miss Christiana. How are you? It's okay now. Perfect. All right. Hey, TikTok family. Let's see what's going on. Please do not repeat your questions. Let's get through it as quickly as possible so I can go eat. My sister-in-law made me some catfish soup back in, so I brought it with me. That thing going on and off. This is really annoying now at this point. Okay. How long does it take? How long does a case? How long does a case? It wasn't removed. Sam, to real, I don't understand what you're asking me. How long will it take after 10 days you expedite your EAD and have not gotten a response yet? They don't have to respond to you within 10 days. Usually they tell you 30 days, but it's a discretionary request to expedite it if you've got, especially in hopefully you have enough reason. Okay. Within the USA, who came with an S? What's your question? Why does it take so long for Lagos Embassy to return your emails? I wish I knew. I'm telling you, I wish I knew. Good night, first time here. Nashima King, thank you for joining. Is it Nashima King? Thank you for joining. Why am I going for third individual here when I already had credible fear finding from detention? Individual hearing is going to be your hearing. Individual hearing is your merits hearing. That's different from a credible fear interview. But another reason why you may be going to court is if they do not find you credible, then they'll refer you to court, and the judge has to decide whether or not you've got credible fear. So, but without knowing your case background, that's just basic information I can give you. Thank you, 𝒊𝒎𝒏𝒕. I appreciate that. If someone married you just to get a green card, is annulment or divorce better? No green card yet. Usually very uncomfortable with this kind of questions, but I mean, if that's how you feel, hopefully, but make sure you're right about that. Just because people really mess up people's lives just because they're angry. As an immigrant myself, I know what it takes to get to the point where you finally think you're going to get your green card, and somebody just writes a letter to USCIS and then they apologize, because I see that happen so many times, and then they apologize to you later on. That cannot be undone with immigration. Just my 2 cents, so but annulment is going to depend on your state. So for instance, in my state, in Alabama, there are specific grounds for annulment, which you must be able to prove one of those grounds. So for instance, if you're claiming fraud, then you must have evidence to prove that. So it's not a case of should I annul, should I divorce. The question is, in your state of residency, based on your claim, do you qualify? Do you have facts to be able to prove whatever grounds for annulment? If not, then you won't have any other choice but to do a divorce. I need to have another consultation with you. All right, no problem. How long does it take adjustment of status of U.S. citizen parents if they're already in the United States? Go anything about processing time, go on uscis.gov/processing time. Expedite my Popola, I would have answered your question right in detail, but I just realized that you put your question like at least 4 times, so I'm going to skip it. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. It is Yeah, let's go to Instagram. Internet aunties of TJ. I'll relay all your messages. Echo carrying. But I break your boundary. TJ's mama, how are you doing? That should have been the first, but no. Good evening from California. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Thank you for joining. Let's see. My husband filed for my daughter since 5 years ago. Up till now, we didn't hear anything from them. How old is your daughter? I don't know what your username is, but that's your question. How old is your daughter? And what stage are you talking about with USCIS? Is your daughter here? Okay, joining from Houston, Texas. Thank you for joining. Your daughter here. How old is your daughter? Was it just an I wanted that it was filed? I need more information. Kalawale from state of California. Thank you for joining. Someone introduced you to me. Tell them thank you. How much is your consultation? 30 minutes, 140. I always have to remember. 30 minutes, 140. 45 minutes, 210. 1 hour, 265. Thanks, Mama. See, my mama told you don't repeat your question. You have to, even if you don't listen to me, you don't have a choice. You got to listen to my mother. Don't play. Don't play. Listen to her. Let's see. Thank you, Miss Ernest, actually. Hello, Mr. Ufesa. How are you? Oh. Mr. Ufesa. I completely, in my defense, I had court all day yesterday in criminal defense yesterday. I'm here for I haven't done this one too. Sorry, I was supposed to get back to you. I'm going to note for myself here. I will get back with you. I always tell people, if you haven't heard from me in 2 hours, please shoot me another email because I'm constantly having over 2,000 emails. So bear with me. Let's see. Okay. Hello, Miss Yabo. How are you? Exclusive Ayo. How are you doing? Can this apply to my friend? Can this apply? Finance channel, who are you talking about? What are the initials? Have they met with me before? Please share and like this video on all platforms. You might be saving a friend and family, and that you just never know who may qualify. Exclusive breastfeed babies are mostly foodies. They are super smart too. I mean, all kids are smart, but I think, let me just leave it alone. It's really annoying. Really, really annoying. It's showing full bars on here, so I'm not really sure. And there's no one else in the house is using like video game or something. Anyway, take effect this month or it's been suspended. For right now, it's been suspended. And it's been suspended because there is, even though the Supreme Court entered a ruling saying that judges could not issue nationwide injunctions based on petitions or lawsuits filed by specific plaintiffs in their state, that if they want to do that, then each state, that a plaintiff has to bring a lawsuit on their own in their own state. However, the Supreme Court also says that ruling, that if judges want to have like a blanket injunction that will cover people in multiple states, then it's got to be a class action lawsuit. You've got to be certified as a class. And then that class, the lawsuit is brought on behalf of that class. And that's the way an injunction can have a nationwide effect. So what happened is ACLU decided, and some plaintiffs in New Hampshire now filed a lawsuit, first of all, to certify a group of children as a class action group, which is children born, not the parents now, the children themselves were certified as a class action group, where children born to undocumented immigrants or immigrants here temporarily were certified as a class action group. And on behalf of that class of children, those unborn children, or born and unborn, being certified, I think the Ninth Circuit also issued another injunction, but the first one came from the New Hampshire judge that certified the group and issued a nationwide injunction that protects that class. So that means that even though some states did not file the lawsuit, any child that falls within that class, which is a child born to undocumented immigrants or people here temporarily, as long as they fit in that class, which will be all the children, then they're covered under that nationwide injunction for a class action. I hope that helps to understand. So because of that, and the administration was given 7 days to appeal, they did not appeal. So because of that, it is still in effect, meaning the birthright citizenship executive order cannot go into effect in those states where they didn't file a lawsuit because of this certification of the class. This is really becoming annoying with this. Anyway, if the government decides to not file an emergency stay with the U.S. Supreme, something has to happen. But for right now, every child that is born is still going to be able to get citizenship. Now, that's what the law is right now, based on this injunction. The question really is, will the states where nobody filed the laws, would they abide by that, or would they try to circumvent the law? It's a whole lot of mess going on. We just have to take it a day at a time. So I hope that answers your question. Miss Peggy, but it's an afterthought though. I was I'm very laughing. No, hello, below TJ. How is it? How is doing? All you TJ aunties. Okay. I'm just happy tomorrow is Friday. It's been a week. YouTube. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Listen, I can't. Please repeat on your own risk. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Ms. Anna Sanctuary. USCIS.gov/processing times. That's how you find out how it's going on. Okay. My 10-year green card got approved. Congratulations through VAWA a few months ago. But I've lived in the U.S. for 8 years. Can I file for citizenship now with me? It's irrelevant how long you've lived in the U.S. What matters as far as you qualifying for citizenship is based on how long you've had your green card and what circumstances. So in your case, if their abusive spouse is a citizen, then you've got to wait 3 years from when you became a green card holder. How long you've been in the U.S. has nothing to do when you qualify. Now, if you want to get your citizenship faster, you can join the military. Okay, sure. Okay. Go on board if you can as well. Thanks for it. You're welcome. I hope not a stressful week. Not really. I just been dealing with this headache since yesterday. I've been dealing with headache all my life. I was talking to my mom when we went to Massachusetts about 2 weeks ago. And she reminded me because he got that different medical doctors, prayer, anointing oil, MRI, everything. It's just something I got from my dad. So I've been dealing with the headache since, I think, because I had a very stressful day yesterday, and it just has been lingering on since then. So if you see me close my eyes or whatever, that's because but it happens. How the firing of immigration. how the firing of immigration judges affects person, or you mean has the firing of affects person times in court? Yes, in court, because I had a case. We had a WebEx hearing yesterday, and it is scheduled for individual here is scheduled for 2032. Am I right? So that's like 7 years. Well, hello, Anthony Senate. Yeah, it's been a while. So they're trying to get rid of all the judges that were working on the Biden administration, and or judges that are not going to dance to the tune. So if you're trying to be sympathetic or empathetic with immigrants, they're probably going to fire them. And what is 2000? Yeah, 2032. That was actually good for my client because we've got a petition pending. So we just filed it. That's almost a lifetime. We just filed it. So I was like, well, that buys us time. Well, why not? Hey, 7 years. Why can't we wait? We're just gonna wait. It's okay. Yep. That's what we're seeing. Anyway, can I still work with my current work permit while my VAWA case is yet to issue a new work permit? How do you have a current work permit? Where did you get it from, or what basis? Hello, Miss Mary. Happy Thursday. I hope you're doing well. This is my today. Rapture could have happened. Very, very possible. What can you do if your lawyer didn't timely file your renewal work permit? Let me play devil's advocate here, because I have cases like that where people had a guy who's he said he didn't know his work permit had expired since May, and he just came to us. So the question I have for you is, did you tell your lawyer your work permit had expired? Because it's not our job to follow up with you when it expired. That's your job to tell, hey, listen, and especially if it's not part of the current representation, because usually renewals is an additional fee. So you have to tell your lawyer when your work permit expires. So the question to you is, Crystal, did you tell your lawyer that it was expired before it expired? But it doesn't mean you can't file it even though it's expired. As long as it's been filed and your category is one of those in the receipt notice that says it's automatically extended, then you should be fine, unless I'm missing something. I have a temporary I-551 pending. I pending with pending. So you have a 551 stamp. I-751 is pending. Can you travel? I don't answer travel questions. Ask your lawyer about that. I have proof of fraud from his side, but does annulment better? Is annulment better for him or divorce? So if you're, I would just say this: if you're null in marriage, then the effect of an annulment on a marriage is that as if the marriage never existed. Divorce, the marriage existed, it's just been dissolved. Big difference. So that's the difference. Not a lot of questions tonight. That's good. All right. Any other questions? If my case was canceled, how long does it take for me to get it? For me to get a next date? If your case was canceled, where? My sister's brother asked me to say thank you for the different one thing. Hello, but do you have an idea how long anything about how long? Y'all can go on the website. That's the same place an attorney is going to go. USCIS.gov/person times. That's where you have to go. So now I'll say this: if you are in a preference category, meaning that you are waiting on a visa number to become available, know that that's going to have an impact on how long. Okay. The priority visibility tells you what the priority date is. So, and if there are no visas of number available, then USCIS cannot do anything because there are statutory limited numbers for each category each year, And so you may have to wait until the next fiscal year. And the next fiscal year starts in October. I was just having that discussion with someone who had a consultation with me today. So it just depends. Yeah. Okay. No other question. Well, I guess we can call it a night, y'all. I mean, go night to Lord, y'all. I think we answered that. That was pretty fast. Thank you all. So if you know that you qualify for cancellation removal, VAWA cancellation removal, just discuss that with an attorney. So, and the point of that and making people aware is being in immigration court is not always a bad thing. Sometimes, especially for someone who came in without inspection. So say, for instance, you came in through the border, you've been here for at least 10 years, good moral character, you've got a qualifying relative, you have not been convicted of any serious crime. You've got, you can show that your removal is going to be hard. Even if you came in without inspection, you still will qualify if you're placed in removal proceedings. So for someone who does not have the I-94 or whatever to be able to adjust, that's an option. So you just never know. But it's not but if you are someone who has not been placed in removal proceedings, you've got no business with cancellation of removal. Emphasis on removal. All right, people. Good evening and well done. Okay, hold on. I don't want those non-LPR cancellation. Okay, now applies to those asylum seekers that the U.S. have sent to court. I'm not sure. I'm trying to understand what you're asking me, DNA signatures. Are you asking if those who? Are you asking if USCIS refers you to immigration court based on them not granting your asylum application? With such a person, will such an asylum seeker also be eligible for cancellation removal in court? Is that your question? If that's your question, as long as they qualify, so as even though the asylum is what's taking you to court, but whatever relief that you are eligible for as a defense to removal, you can also apply for in immigration court. If that's what your question is, then that's how that works. Okay. I think I answered all your questions. I want to make sure I'm not missing anyone's question. Alrighty, so thanks for all you do. Well, thank God. Let's just say hi to TJ. We're missing no music, no singing, no one yelling. I don't even need that today because, like I said, I'm dealing with a headache. If you apply for VAWA, you have to apply for. Okay, I'm trying to make. I think you have an order of supervision. You gotta have to repeat. Well, you already repeated your question 3 times. Okay, that's it. All right. So I think when we put up something today that says that, and the reason for that was one of our cases that we're hoping was an appeal of our appeal, and we're hoping that we're going to be successful on that. It was not, unfortunately, and I think that's part of why I had a headache yesterday, because I'm very. I don't know, a lot of my colleagues are telling me that you've got to separate your work from your emotions. Like it's work. It's not, and there's no guarantee about anything. True. But I think it's a different feeling when you know what it feels like to go through the immigration process. It's work. Yes. It's not like, okay, I'm just sitting there balking or whatever, but because you know that someone's life is affected, it's a different, my advocacy is a different type. I advocate for people from the depth of my heart. That's just who I am. And there's no case that I take on that is not, I don't have the mindset that we're going to succeed. It's impossible for me to take on a case and not. Now, I would tell you, hey, this is what we may be looking at. This is a chance. These are the chances and all. But because I know that there's nothing that God cannot do, there's just absolutely nothing that he cannot do. And so that was even a message for myself this morning, like, you know what, even though, you know, you pray and something doesn't turn out the way you think it should or hope that it will, if you still have opportunities to move forward. And like I was telling her, like, we can file a motion to reopen and reconsider. It's not the expected end, and there's no how you're going to, you know, God's hands are full. God's hands are never empty. His hands are consistently and constantly full. They're full of blessings and favor and mercy. And so there's no how, and it is sufficient for each and every one of us, millions and billions of us, as long as you believe that that is your source of power and the source of your blessing. It's his hands are full of blessings. So it's going to come. It's going to come. The vision is yet for an appointed time, because there is no dryness with God. And so whatever it is that we know that we are believing and expecting from God, he will fulfill. He's not meant that he should lie. So the one thing that you just cannot do is to give up. You've got to keep fighting, especially during the times we're going through now. You got to keep fighting. So for me, it was a message for myself to know that, you know what, I wear that badge on my, Jeremiah 29:11. It's a constant reminder for me, knowing that because if it's not the expected end that we are hoping to see, then we keep pushing. Thank you. We keep fighting, because his hands are full of those blessings. He's going to let our cup overflow right in the presence of our enemies. Hey, so shall it be. So keep fighting, keep believing. Do not give up. The worst thing you can do is to give up, because if you give up, you would never be able to get to that expected end. And so that's what we're going to keep doing. Praying for one another, coming together in faith as a community. That's why we've got zero tolerance for negativity here. There's a lot of that going on right now. It's just a whole lot to go around for a lifetime. If we have this community where we come together and someone gets encouraged, someone gets motivated, someone who was on the brink of giving up, hears something from somebody, or hears someone else's testimony that's similar to theirs and says, you know what, if God can do it for them, then I know he's still in the business of miracles, which he is. He's a God who never fails. And because he's the God of abundance, he's eager to bless us and to take us to that expected end. So let's keep going, taking it a day at a time. I'll see you guys next week.